Hey folks, Sir Jeremiah here. And hey, this is going to be an interesting one. Doing a voiceover. You might notice that my lips are not in sync with what's going on, and there's a reason for that, because I lost the video to this episode. So let me jump in and catch up. Right here, I think I'm talking about diamonds. Because I think this is the first episode where I had my diamonds, not sure about that. I'm talking about something. But anyway, I not only lost the voice on this, I lost all audio. But yeah, I've got some decent diamond armor on, picked up a bunch of diamonds, did a bunch of mining off camera in this one. So what I'm going to be doing during this, I'm going to be trying to guess what's going on. I've kind of partway rewatched these, but it's been a few days since I did these. So let's see, what we're going to do now. We're going to show some stuff off. Let's see. First, we're going to talk about, made some improvements. We talked about the armor. Made myself a good sword. The Tinker's Construct Sword. Have a new hammer. The hammer was awesome, still is. In fact, I just upgraded that sword again. Oh, it'd be very cool. So yeah, this the sword is going to help a lot. It does hella damage compared to what I had before. Let's see, I've done some reconstruction on the storage here. You can see I made some more compressor drawers, but one group of them is not even used yet. Got some stuff organized. You have to do more organization with it. We're a little low on some of our minerals here, and that's why I started doing some mining. We'll see what goes on with that. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the original, but hey, there's glowstone down there. I'm talking about drawers still. I'm on here. I'm on live on air. I was talking about my drawers. Still talking about armor improvement hammers. I don't know. Let's get some machinery stuff going on over here. So I have a latex maker set up. Got that all set up over there. And over this way, I'm pointing at something, thinking about something, talking about something. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe it's that crate out there. The crate that you see in front of you, the one sitting out in the middle of nowhere, that's just an empty crate being used for dump when I'm out mining. I could dump everything into it to organize. Still talking about this latex thing. Not sure what I'm talking about with it. Something going on there. Not sure what it is. But I was very enthralled with it. But you guys can see I made some more. I made some more item ducts. Included this in. There's still some wall there. I knocked out a bunch of wall here. Maybe that's what I was talking about. I knocked this whole section of wall out. And made this extension, and it's there. But I left part of the wall because I've got books hanging on the other side. This that we're looking at here is actually a portal. Oh, that's a teleport point, a waypoint from a death, according to the color. So that's yep. See, there it is, death. So we're going to turn that off because stray waypoints are just annoying. All right. What else we got over here? What else are we going to talk about? Okay, we talked about those. We can take that out. Take it out. Come on, Jeremiah. Take it out. You're done. You've talked about all those. You've improved your armor. You've got a new sword. You've got a new hammer. I guess I'm talking about the hammer now. I was trying to take it out with the hammer. Okay. So next we're going to talk about, we're going mining in the mountains. Oh, I'm thinking now I'm talking about the glowstone. No, I'm talking about minerals again. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about there. There's something going on. I'm really, really intrigued. I'm talking about some of the stuff that's there. I'm talking about why we're going to be going mining somewhere. Some of the stuff that's... I discovered that some minerals some of the ores don't seem to appear low at the y-axis as much as they appear high. So a little low on things like copper at this point. And so I think it's time to go looking somewhere else. Something about a 2. I said something about a 2 there. I don't know what I was saying about a 2. I think that I had 2 of something. I'm still talking about my ores here. This is really confusing for me since I don't know what I was talking about. I wish I knew what this was about. Rewatching this wouldn't help at all because there's nothing going on here. Would be much more interesting with whatever it was I was talking about at the time, was catching you guys up. The problem is I don't know what it was new at that point. I'm looking around for something. There's something I'm looking for. I think I'm talking about reconfiguring. Yeah, I'm talking about taking out some of the lighting points. So drawer controller. Figured out what a drawer controller does. It allows us to interface with all the drawers. So it allows us to push things into the drawers. You see this trim here. I had set up trim. I was experimenting with some things. I had the drawer controller in the middle originally. Doesn't need to be there. But this trim links drawers. As long as the drawers are linked to each other and eventually to the drawer controller controls all of them. That's why I keep looking down at this trim over here. And you can see some trim over there on the right too. So you get basically a 25 by 25 by 25 cube. It's 12 in every direction from the actual controller. And so this room, where you see this, I'm assuming I will eventually point you back to the controller here. But this room, everything you're seeing here is all these drawers are linked back to the controller. You can see a little bit of trim over there in the corner there. And this trim over here, I will eventually take out. In fact, by the time we get to, I think, 2 videos later, I love taking it out. But what I was saying here is there's not enough room for the Botanica stuff, so we need to expand out and move over. I will eventually get around to that in a future episode. I do get around to that. So this all needs to be reconfigured a bit. I started with one set of organization and outgrew the organization I had set up. But all of these drawers that you see, including the ones that I just swum past real quick, all of those are controlled by the drawer controller. And the drawer controller really is an input. I'm not sure. It may be an output as well. I haven't tried that. I need to maybe try moving it forward briefly to see if... Actually, I could try that with a slave. Put a slave right next to the bench and see if that allows me to have access to everything. It might. I don't know. I need to try that out. I haven't tried making a slave yet, so I might give that a shot and drop a slave right next to the station there. So we've got all these other chests over here. I need to condense those chests. It's just taking up too much space. I'll use that space for the drawers. You can see these drawers over here. There's my drawer controller. And one of the things I was pointing out is those drawers just to the left of the storage bench. If something comes into the drawer controller that doesn't have a space, it goes to the nearest empty drawer. So I'm going to leave those drawers open next to the drawer controller so that it will dump new stuff there so I can organize it better. I don't know what I'm talking about over this way. Pointing at something, there's andesite over there. Back to the drawer controller. Talking some more about this drawer controller, not really sure what I'm saying now. We're back to this. I think I'm describing the item duct situation here where I use the crate there as a buffer. Although it's meant to be for the latex, I used it as a buffer from the redstone furnace into the crate, and the crate is linked into the drawer system. It's technically called a drawer network. So that's what we're talking about here. I'm showing off my item ducts again. You see all of that feeding in. It goes straight to my drawer controller, which feeds into all of my drawers. All right, are we done? Are we done with that? I'm still talking. I'm pointing at the one I've got. I've forgotten what that is. Bronze, I think. The one bronze. And the 3, that's not gold there. Whatever that is next to the bronze, it looks kind of gold. Oh, I'm talking now about the drawer key. The drawer key lets you lock your drawers so that what goes in them, if you take it all out, that's why I was looking at the metals there. If you take it all out, you actually keep that assignment for the drawer. So things, you take all the gold out or whatever, and when you put more gold into your system, so if I would throw gold ore into the crusher or whatever that is, pulverizer, and it goes to the redstone furnace and goes into the drawer system, and it would always go to where gold goes, even though there would be no gold actually there. So I've got a new key here. We're going to grab a new item frame to put the key up. Now remember this because I know where that key sits now. It sits right in that very item frame. Boom, there it is. Item frame, and let's put the key up there. And, I was going to lock things first. So we're going to lock all of these. You can see when I apply this, boom, there's a lock key lock shows up top. Those are locked. If I take that last bronze ingot out of there, it'll show a 0. See? Just like that. Hey, I even knew what I was going to do there. So that lets me see what goes on with that. And I'll be able to come back and reuse drawers. I can empty things out and not lose the spot for them. All right. What else am I doing over here? I'm just looking at other things I need to reconfigure. I'm running out of room on some things. All right. Let's put that key away. And what's next? I'm still talking about drawers. Man, I was really obsessed with drawers in this one. By the way, guys, quick note. I discovered that you see the quality of this is a little iffy. I discovered that my video settings are being overwritten by the Twitch app launcher. It actually was launching that for me. So I had to go back and manually change those in that. So both my video, we had one later where I had really bad lag. In fact, I think it's the last one I did before I recorded this voiceover. Anyway, so we're going to do some astral sorcery. We need to get around to that. Want to actually get around to collecting the crystal wand, collecting the crystal, make the wand, and go look for ores. Those crystals that were in the temples cannot actually be broken. So we have to do our own thing. So we can't mess with the collecting crystals. We can use them for now, but we can't move them. So we're going to go make a wand and go searching for some of the ores used in astral sorcery. I don't know what, at this time, I didn't know what those were. So I was just waiting to make that wand. I did make that wand, apparently. I don't know if I did that off, or maybe I did that. I think I did that in a previous one. Yeah, that's right. We made that over at the temple. So we're going to go looking for this. And apparently, if you go out at night, this wand shows you where the ores are. Let's see. I'm back to looking at my armor again. Oh, what I was saying is I can now go wandering at night because I've got decent armor. I don't have to worry about being just completely, as Sparkles would say, demonetized by random mobs. I can survive a whole lot. As long as I don't piss off the pigmen, I can usually survive. All right, so we'll take that one down. So we're going to go mining in the mountains. I need mossy cobble. Because I want to put mending on my Tinker's Construct items. They wear down. I keep having to come back and use more manulin. And manulin, not terribly scarce if you spend a little bit of time in the nether, but it's a hassle having to repair. So I wanted to get some mossy cobble. So I was saying here we go to the giant taiga. I'll correct myself on that later. But need to go and look for mossy cobble. It appears regularly on the surface in the giant taiga. So what's up next here? Kind of eerie having zero sound in this. I feel like I'm filling more space verbally because I don't have the sounds of the game going on behind me. All right. So it looks like I'm gathering my stuff. We're going to use that so we can take our crafting table on a stick, take some shears, because why the hell wouldn't you? Put some stuff in the backpack. All right. So it looks like we are ready to go. We're going to take our compass and try to find a giant taiga. If I learn how to use a compass. I'm going to run over this way for a second. All right, looking for a giant taiga. And what you're going to see here is as I'm searching through this, I wish the search on this doesn't seem to work. I've tried it a couple of times and I can't seem to get it to actually do a search. But I scroll down through this and there is no giant taiga. I was confused. They're not in this one? Oh wait, there's a mega taiga. Maybe that's the same thing. And I don't know if that, I still haven't looked that up to see if that's the same thing as the giant taiga. Maybe I was thinking it was giant taiga and it's actually mega taiga, or maybe that's a change. I think this has plenty of biomes on it. That's a mod. So anyway, we're teleporting here. And slow redraw, and we are standing in water. All right. So now we're going to look around and see if we can find what we're looking for. Now we've got the wand in our hand, and that's supposed to make some particles rise. So what we're looking for is those particles. So I'm just kind of casting around looking for those. And these are all those mossy cobble bits there you see laying around. I'm going to gather some random flowers as I see them. I'm not sure why I put that. Oh, there's some particles. Not sure why I put that torch down. I think it just felt necessary. Maybe to remind myself there was cobble over here. We're going to grab some before we go down. And you can see there's a bit of a lag on the mining, on the breaking the blocks. I'll grab a bunch of this so we have plenty when we get back. Probably want something like a stack, I think is what I was looking for here. Had I remembered my hammer, I could have mined this faster. Especially if I knew how to use the hammer as well as I do now. I didn't then, so probably not a lot faster than working with the pick for this kind of situation. Oop, fall back down in, jump back out. You see the sunrise is coming, and that'll interfere with our plans to look for those particles, but we'll worry about that in a minute. I don't think I noticed that right away in the moment. Actually, I am hearing some audio. Wow, it's just, the audio is really soft. I'm hearing very faintly the thump when it breaks one of these blocks. But that's all I'm hearing. I didn't hear any of the chests open, but I'm hearing the thump of breaking cobble. Interesting. All right, so we're going to jump down here. And I just decide, what the hell, it's daylight. Let's go see what's down here. Yeah, I've got good armor. I've got good weapons. I can probably handle these dudes. And it turns out my weapons are pretty damn good for this. One hit kill. Sweet. So let's go back here and see what we've got. Walked right past a little bit of ore there. Bypassing a fair amount of ore. But I just wanted to see what was going on in here. See if I could find any of the ores that I was missing. And here we go. I was low on copper. There's some copper. I think it was, at this point, it was tin I was looking for. Yep, it was. And tin right away. Found some tin. That's what I was saying earlier, is we were very low on tin. There were some things I couldn't make, or couldn't afford to make, I should say, because I was too low on tin. So right away, finding some tin, that will help. Having some trouble moving. And of course, always can use a little bit of experience. That's the main reason I mine so much not copper. That's not copper. Damn. Man, I hate creepers. Man, I hate them. That bugged me even watching it. I think it really ticked me off playing. All right, back over here. Let's pick up this. Oh, so I did finally remember I have a hammer. I don't know why I keep going into my GUI there. What am I looking for? I was looking for something that's just rock salt. Leave it alone, Jeremiah. All right. Some more tin there. Yeah, I got lucky. Hit tin pretty much right off. And I really needed tin at this point. Yeah, I don't think so, pal. Boom. Yeah, you want to die that way? We can die that way. That's fine. All right. Drop some more torches. Oh, another one, huh? Yeah, you can get close, but no banana. Set some more ores right there. Trying to light things up. Keep from getting surprised by mobs. See a big drop there. Something I could drop down to, but you know, who wants to get down there and mess with all that stuff? I have things to do in the area. More tin. Look at that. And I was looking at this. So I saw this on the way in, and was seeing more here. This slate. I also call it slate. This slate ore or slate rock. And I thought I should grab some of that. I don't know what it's good for, but I don't have any right now, and maybe I should. So, oh, there's a big lag there. So was thinking, you know, maybe we should just go ahead and grab some of this slate while we're here too. Good bit of tin laying about. Apparently was having a little trouble walking that day. Wow. I keep looking up at that slate, but I think it's higher than I want to mess with. I think I actually changed my mind on that eventually. Decided what the hell. Oh, another one up there. Some copper back in the back. And part of this was I was just wasting time because it was daytime and I needed nighttime to use the wand, and I was trying not to change the time manually too much. This is one of those things. With this pack, there are some things that I would normally consider kind of cheating, but they're part of the mod pack, so I can't really bring myself to call them cheating when the mod pack provides them. When you're playing a specific mod pack, it seems to me that whatever the mod pack provides, that's just how the game works now. This is something that annoys me. Again, I don't know if this is the difference between 112 or if this is the mod pack, but the way it drops a torch so easily when you're trying to do this, have not had that problem in my 114 excursions. But I also haven't played this mod pack in 114, so I don't know if it's 114 that makes the difference, if this is something they just improved in 114, or if it's something about the mod pack that's making that more likely to drop a torch. But I haven't gotten the hang I still haven't gotten the hang as I record this of doing that that jump and drop, jump place actually. I still haven't gotten the hang of that. I think I was making the cat get out of my lap. I'm shifting a lot in my chair there, and I think that's a good sign that there was a cat in my lap, and I made her leave. When she gets in my lap, I get bad posture. So I was looking to get something like a full stack here. So I'm just checking real quick. And there's a full stack. Still daytime. I've always enjoyed exploring caves and getting the ores out of caves, so I was kind of enjoying this little side trip. This is something I don't do as much with this mod pack, just because there's so much else to do. And there was another damn creeper. These things are just annoying. All right. So this is a technique I've used a fair amount in caves, make my way to an end point where I know I've lit all the way down, and then mine my way back out rather than have to watch my back the whole way. I got pretty lucky on tin on this trip. I need to look at my tin again. I don't think I'm low, but I don't think I'm particularly high on it. I might do another trip like this to gather some more tin if I need it, because it turned out to be a pretty good idea. I don't know if the biome alters what ores are available at all, but I got lucky on this one. Since tin was my objective, I picked up a lot of tin here. There was the cat again. Pick a bit more coal. All right. I think at this point I started looking around and thinking, I wonder if this is the right expenditure of my time. So I started looking at making my way back up. Missed some tin. Let's pick that back up on the way out. Heading up. There we go. Pick up the easy parts of the coal anyway. Gotten a little bit better at jumping over time. I've noticed that. I don't struggle quite as much. I think at this point I was also a little low on copper. See copper a lot more towards the surface. In fact, as I recall, I was really low on copper. And this is where I started figuring out I didn't know where the hell the exit was. And those of you who've watched me before and Jeremiah's going to die and some of the other stuff would be unsurprised to find Jeremiah getting lost. It's a thing that I do in caves. But I found my way out. And I decided to abandon all that noise and just make my way out with the slime sling. Blink. There we go. Over to here. Find an open area. Position myself and boink. Run into the ceiling. Boink. Run into the ceiling again. You're standing under a ceiling, Jeremiah. Move over. Okay, that was not enough of a boink. Boink. That was too much of a boink, but that's okay. Too much doesn't hurt anything. Alright, so it is nighttime. Still doing this the slow way. Not sure why I never caught on in this one that this stuff would be faster with the hammer too. Maybe I just was trying to preserve the hammer's durability. I don't know. I don't know. We take all of this out. I think I was trying, I can't remember how much I wanted it. I can't remember if it was just one stack I was trying to get to, if I took 2 stacks, but obviously I was trying to get some generous amount of this, what would be mossy cobble in vanilla 114. I don't know if this, again, I don't know if the moss stone is a 112 name, or if it's part of one of the mods. Maybe Tinker's construct replaces it, I don't know. But just tried to gather a generous amount of cobble, because I knew that I would need a bunch of it to make the moss balls. I think it takes 9 of these moss stones, I think that's right, to make a moss ball. Still collecting mossy stone. Yeah, so I was looking to get my second stack. So I'm at 64 and 54, so just needed to pick up 10 more. Need one more. That produces one more. All right, so now it's time to use the wand and find those particles. There are those particles I was looking at. So it's in the water. So I picked what looked like the central spot. Just surrounded it with cobble real quick. And then filled it in. That gets rid of the water. Dig through this. And just digging straight down, screw it. We're not going to worry about the danger. We are going to dig straight down and looks like it's off center a little bit. Looking around to see where it comes from. It's a little off center. It's not a specific location, it's an area, but you can see a bunch of them are coming up through the shaft here. I'm not sure why I jumped back out. Oh, I heard an Enderman. So I went looking to see if I could find the Enderman. And decided it wasn't worth it. Too many other mobs. We've been picking up a fair few ender pearls along the way anyway, so not worth messing with. I decided to go straight down. Screw it. If we're going to go straight down, let's go straight down for real. And just get out the hammer, go down straight down in a 3x3 chamber. Yep. Checking for particles again, seeing the particles are in fact inside. Not sure what I'm still staring at there. Some of this makes less sense since I now know what I know that I did not know then. We're just going to dig straight down here. Remember, boys and girls, never dig straight down. Unless you're streaming and just say, screw it, going to die in front of everybody, don't care. Move some stuff into the backpack, make some room here. Basically, I start by moving everything that's, full stacks. Because that, those aren't going to get any bigger. We can move those out of the way. Trying to decide what I want to keep and what I want to throw away. I just decided to keep everything. Screw it. Once again, tin ready at hand. And down some more. Basically, I'm just going down a bit at a time, looking around at my walls to see. There we go, checking for my particles. You can see they're a little off center, but still there. So we keep going. All right, continuing down. Not sure why I keep readjusting like this. I think I was checking to make sure it was still night. I'm not sure why that would matter. More tin. How handy. Right into an open area. If I were doing that now, I think I would just verify I'm not over lava and just pitch myself down and say screw it. Take him out. Wink. And I didn't know something here that I now know, so I would not do this now. But what I didn't know then is you need open sky over your area in order to scan it. So I went looking for, I was going to basically go underneath where I was and use that to continue my search. But that doesn't work because you need open sky above you. But this would allow me to go do some investigation, see what's going on. I can see here this is an area I was almost linked to. I just stopped short of it. All right, just looking around, make sure the area is reasonably clear, throwing up some torches. All right, now I'm trying to figure out where I came in. Not often you get, in this world, it hasn't been often I found iron laying around this close to the surface. But then I am already down to Y31 here, so not too far from where I'd been mining. Feels like it's near the surface because I've been, I just made my way down here. Okay, looking for the entrance again. They're just relentless. And another one. This is where I was trying to find my spot again. Trying to use the wand, but seeing nothing. I'm seeing nothing because, of course, two reasons. Number one, no open sky, and number two, it's actually daytime. So looking for that entrance where I cut in. There's my entrance. I'm gonna mark that real quick so that I know where that is. Then I go trying to figure out where I was. looking further back. Oh, just came over here mainly for the mushroom and to see what else is over here. Read that chunk drawing in the background there. That drives me a little bit nuts. Occasionally I get those clear views through the end of the world, and I don't know. Yeah, one hit kill on this. I'm really digging the sword, by the way. It served me well. There are some other weapons I may try out as I go along. Some other, I think Astral Sorcery has some, Botanica has some. So I have to consider some of those. Oh, there's a nice lag there. The hell that was. Wow. A couple of big lags in a row. Just a whole laggy section. It's interesting, my streaming software did not report those lags. So I've just decided to clear out this cave real quick, because why the hell wouldn't I? Starting to get the hang of using the hammer at the right times now. There we go. A little more ore, and as I can see, I'm full, so I have to stop and figure this out again. Move all my 64, my full stacks over. Trying to look for anything I can throw away. Got lots of salt. I think I decided to get rid of the salt here. Got plenty of sand. Got plenty of limestone. Got 2 stacks, or stack, or whatever I have of my slate. Let's get rid of the spares there. Throw away the meat and the eyeballs. I guess if we're going to keep the black sprout, we have to keep the plain sprout. Alright, so that gives me some space here. Not a ton, but some. I think I just put the cat down again. As I record this, this same cat has shown up and is in my lap as I record this. So there's all that stuff over there that I just dumped. Get rid of some marble. Alright, so moving back on. Staring at myself for some reason, not sure why. Let's move onward and back upward. Stopping just for the ores, I think this time. I was getting a little bit antsy. But, you know, it's hard to argue with picking up more iron. It's a generally useful ore. Here I started getting a little better with my use of the hammer. Started looking at my pickaxe and realizing my durability is going way down, so I have to be careful not to mine stuff I don't actually need to take with me. Or to lean a little bit more on the hammer, because hammer had plenty of durability left. Alright, on the way out, pick up the important ores. Again, I was looking at trying to clear this to the end, but there's too many branches. Didn't want to get too separated from what I was doing. So, collect this tin. That tin over there. And try to find my way back to that opening again. Well, there's some more tin, so I guess we'll take that. It's still daytime. I think that's why I wasn't trying to scramble back to the opening yet. Basically, since tin is one of the reasons I came out this way in the first place. That's why I came out to do mining, was I wanted the tin. Just made sense to go ahead and grab whatever tin I could. And there's my opening again. And one of the things about the slime boots, and one of the reasons I keep wearing the slime boots, is I like never having to worry about fall damage. So I've got this out, and I'm seeing I can't see the particles. I look up there, I see the particles. So now I'm understanding I have to dig through that. Cat, you're strangling yourself on my headphones. So we're going to go back up here. We're going to dig that back out. Still worrying about fall damage, so as you can see, straight down, particles everywhere, yet another stupid creeper. All right, we've got some particles right there. Let's grab our hammer and head down. And we are now at 27. Convenient. Some coal right in the way there. This is just me trying to figure out if there's any patterns to the particles that rise. Do they tell me anything other than just need to go down? Then I decided, screw it, let's... Oh. I thought I heard something, and I paused my game to check on it, but no, I hadn't heard anything important. So I can see all those rising up. I'm still in the shaft. That looks good. Keep going down. What I was trying to figure out here is, do I need to hop off to the sides at some point? I didn't know what the rules were at this point, so I was trying to figure out what to do with this. We're at Y13, so we're down where I would be normally mining. Normally I mine Y equals 11, which means I'm standing on 10 and my head is at 12. Still trying to figure these particles out. I think I made this, I felt like this was supposed to be more accurate than it was. There we go. Start picking some stuff up again. And now we're down at Y5, and there we go. That's what we were looking for, that rock crystal ore. Pick up those crystals, figured out I'm out of space again. This is where I realized that these crystals don't stack. So every time I go in and mine some, I have to have room for them in my inventory. All right, so we got a bunch of crystals. We're going to teleport home because we are full. The teleporting again. This feels to me feels like in some ways it makes it too easy. We got what we came for. We are replete with some ores. And I'm saying some other stuff, and I don't remember what other stuff I was saying there. I don't remember what my commentary was. I apparently had something I thought was important to say at that point that I was sharing with you guys. Unfortunately, it is lost for all time. Posterity has lost this information. All right, putting things away. Astral sorcery chest there. Had some more. There we go. Then we come over here, go to our drawer controller. I think that's what I did. Yep, just double right click on that. It'll take everything that has a drawer spot available. Boom, gets a bunch of stuff out. So it didn't take my ores because those ores don't have a spot. And it somehow recognizes that ores don't belong, because it will take some other stuff that doesn't have a spot. But the ores, it will not. There are certain things it just won't do that to. Actually, I think when you double right click on the controller, now that I think about this, I think it never takes things on the spot. It's when you feed things in with ducts or whatever that it will assign them to a drawer if there's not an existing drawer. A little bit of quick rearranging here. And now we head over to the, let's see what I headed to. I headed over that way to the something. Not sure why I'm grabbing sticks. We're looking at the fact that my sticks are full. I don't know. I don't know what I was looking at there. So we take these over, we dump all of these into the hopper here. So they'll pass on. And this is our secondary stuff. When you pulverize, some ores have a small chance, 5 to 10% on most of them, I think, to spit out a secondary ore, and the secondary stuff goes into that chest. And I just grab it and eventually move it over into the redstone furnace. But yep, you can see it producing there, spitting out what we need, going in to the chest, where it's drawn out of the chest into the ducts, and right into the controller. Empty all this stuff out, put it where it belongs. These are 2 stacks of moss stone plus a stack of slate. Let's go find the home for the slate here. Good a place as any. 2 stacks of moss stone. And I think what I decided was to hang on to some and convert some. So I'd look at the ball of moss to see what I have to do to make that. Moss patch, ball of moss. And you right click it onto a bookshelf to turn it into mending moss. And just 9 in a regular block formation. Can't do that here. cat jumped up again, put the cat back on the ground, take a ball of moss. Take this moss, click on a bookcase, and now I have mending moss. So I think I'm debating how I want to handle this from this point. I just think I decided to go ahead and make it out of the whole stack. Yep. We're going to go give some things some homes, I think. Kind of close to the cobble, so throw that there. Then I decided to go ahead and put some of the moss up there as well, so it has a spot. I have some mending moss. Somehow I put all of the moss away. I'm going to take this over. We've only got 22 levels, so we can only do this twice. Take down the excess torches that get dropped. I love offhanding torches, but it's kind of the bane of my existence at the same time. I keep using them mistakenly. Doesn't have a matching spot. I'm not sure why there are those 5 different spots, because I've yet to find anything that has to go in a specific spot. Okay, so that has mending on it. And do the sword. And of course we're going to do our hammer as well. And I don't think these stack. I think it's single use. And I can't remember if I said this during this one, but with the mending moss, you can go out. I think that's actually what I was going to look up, how the mending moss works. So I was looking at what the rules are here. It says multiple levels. I don't think I've applied multiple levels to any of my tools. I'll have to go look. I'm not sure I've done that even now. And I've been mending this for a while. So I'm trying to think what else I can get done here. We've got a little bit of time left. What are we going to spend our time on? That's what I'm contemplating here. I know I've got a few minutes left. What else could I do with my time? So I decided to go do something else. There was something else. Oh, I was trying to remember at the time what the other thing was I wanted to go do. There's something else I wanted to go do. I was looking through the biomes, hoping something would remind me. And I was planning to go to Extreme Hills, but I was planning to go to the Extreme Hills to try to do some mining, but we'd taken care of my tin, so didn't see that as terribly useful. So just trying to figure out what else to do with my time here. I think this is where I concluded I didn't need to go do the additional mining since I'd had such success there. I'm looking at my tin, and I now have 104 nickel. Nickel was the one that was actually having problems initially. And where's my tin? 103, 104. Tin's going up as we watch it. So not a problem with nickel or tin, and those were the two that had been holding me back. So I think I just decided here I wasn't going to go ahead and do that. So I go over here and collect these, throw these in. I was looking to see what I had, I guess. Just looking through, got a little bit of platinum there, but that's not I haven't had a whole lot of use for that yet. So don't see a use in going there. Was saying need to get to the nether. We're low on netherish stuff, the blaze rods and blaze powder, so needed to do that. And trying to figure out what I was going to do next time. So I'm starting to get into that sort of wrap-up mode. What else could we do before we get out of here? What do we need to do next time? Something dramatic. Said something dramatic, and then went back to look at my latex processing unit again. I think I was saying here is I'd really like to figure out a way to make this, to fully automate this. I had tried to use a compacting drawer to put together the 9 latex to make a, see it makes time for the 9 tiny rubber to make dry rubber, to then you cook that down to make plastic. I was trying to automate that. Haven't figured that out yet. And I'm still running my mouth about something here. There's something interesting going on in my head at this point. Don't know if I ever got that out to your heads, but there was something interesting going on in my head nonetheless. And I'm emphatically talking about whatever it was I was talking about. Still, I think talking about some automation and trying to simplify things here. It's one of the things I love about working with this mod pack. I suspect this is true of most mod packs, even some of just the mods. There's so much left to be done all the time. So you never find yourself thinking, well, I guess I've only got one thing to focus on. You've got so much. So this is where I was talking about the automation for the tiny dry rubber to the dry rubber to plastic. And I'm just going on about that automation process that's not working. You can see this produces a ton. I originally loaded this up with 9 stacks of wood, and you can see how much it has produced. And it's used up, about half of the wood. All right, where are we going? Downstairs. Go look at some stuff down here. Showing that I actually had used some hoppers here, and that's something I want to work on for next time. Maybe replace those hoppers, and maybe even try to clean some of this up. There was some difficulty in how some of this works. I still haven't figured out what makes filters work, not work, because they seem to be highly unreliable in some situations. Actually in a lot of situations, I've seen things pass through them that seem like it shouldn't under the circumstances. Still looking at my automation sequence here. I think it was just showing off what I'd done here. So I've just used this open crate and this filter. This filter pulls off to the side the things that I don't need. So I've got this whole farm back here. It's really just about generating sticks and logs. The sticks and logs bypass that filter. They make it into the chest, and the chest feeds this other stuff. And this furnace that I've had around forever is now run entirely off of sticks. Why off of sticks? Just because that's a cheap fuel that I had way too much of, so I've been letting it build up in there and using it for fuel. Well, we got some black quartz we need to put away. All right, so it's starting to look back here and think, what else could I make? Don't need don't think I need to change anything over here. Was considering some automation with that atomic reconstructor. Had not done it yet at this point. Back down. So I'm back to talking about how I'd like to automate this. I'd like to bypass, like to be able to extract that out of there. Had not figured it out at that point, and wanted to clear this out so that it never stopped being useful. But at this point, I just let it fill all the way up, and things would queue up over, actually back in the hoppers under the bonsai trees. Was talking about, making another energy cell or another reinforced energy cell. The reinforced one has a lot of power to it, and all full up. The other one's much smaller, and you can see that some got pulled out of there. It's being used in the processes upstairs, and I was talking about how I probably should upgrade that one and have more energy capacity. I'm not really running those two outside ones, just using my two weakest ones, the pitiful fuel generator and the steam dynamo, and running those two. And back upstairs. And I think it's where I started wrapping up. It looks like I've got about a minute left in it, so probably was starting to wrap up here, talking about what I wanted to do next time, making plans, talking about some of the things I wanted to catch up on. I don't know what those were because I haven't watched the next one again yet, but talking about a little bit of automation over on that side, maybe improving some pieces over there. Actually needs a bypass, and I was thinking it might be something I could work out at that point. Something else about my pulverizer and redstone furnace, not sure what was going on there. I've got that big smeltery back there. It doesn't get near as much usage now. I've got the at least semi-automation to full automation going on over there. But yeah, that's everything, guys. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate all your attention, all that you give, all the support you bring. Please like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff, and you can catch me live on twitch.tv